Oh man, that couldn't have been a better response after that last one versus the Islanders. So the Flyers, they pick up a 6-2 win tonight over the Florida Panthers in Florida in a game where, as I said, they come out, they have a very strong first period, the complete opposite from the last one, where they gave up 3 goals. And this one, they scored 3 goals, they had a 4-0 lead, and they dominate the Panthers. They get a 6-2 win. So the lines were a little bit different for tonight. You had your first line of Giroux, Couturier, and Jake Voracek, your second line of Hayes, Konechny, and Farabee. Third line, Lawton, Van Riemsdyk, and Pitlick. And your fourth line of Aube-Kubel, Michael Raffl, and Connor Butterman. Carter Hart's in net for this one. Defense, same as always. You got Sanheim with Myers, Provorov, Niskanen, and Braun with Robert Hagg. And early on, the Flyers, they're getting a couple chances. As I said, they had a really good start. James Van Riemsdyk gets them on the board 1-0. And before this, the Flyers actually had a power play. They got a couple chances, couldn't really get anything going. And it was actually a trip, I guess it was a trip. I don't know what they actually called it. They probably could have called it like 3 different things: interference, hold, hook, trip, whatever. Michael Raffl, he drew a penalty on a breakaway. It was like a partial breakaway. He's skating up the zone, and the Florida defenseman pulled him down to the ice. Flyers get a power play. Couldn't really get anything going, but they do give up 2 shorthanded chances on this one. Really, 2 of Florida's main chances of the whole period. It was a breakaway from Frank Vatrano, who was Florida's best player in the first period. He had a couple chances on Hart. I believe he had like 3 or 4 shots off my memory. But besides that, he had a breakaway. Hart made a nice save on on that ensuing rebound. Ekblad had a bullet that Hart was able to get a piece off, knocked it at the corner. Flyers, they could pick it back up. They set it up. As I said, they couldn't really get anything going, but a couple minutes later, James Van Riemsdyk gets a goal on a pass from Sanheim over to Niskanen. He ripped it, who was wide open. He had a wide open lane for a slap shot, fired it. It hit Bobrovsky in the chest shoulder area, sat in the slot. Van Riemsdyk tapped it right by Bobrovsky. 1-0 Flyers lead. Later in the period, the Flyers are still dominating early on. They're getting a lot of chances. The bottom 6 was phenomenal tonight, and they were generating a lot of chances as well. The fourth line had a really good game. The third line had a really good game. All 4 lines really had a good game, but those lines in particular, they got the first 4 of the Flyers' goals, and Tyler Pitlick gets one here on a beautiful snipe. It was like a one-on-one kind of rush. It was kind of a hard save for Bobrovsky. It was a great shot, one. It was a tough save because it was kind of up high, and it's a shot where, as you're a goaltender, you kind of have to go like this to make a save. It's a tough spot. Pitlick, he gets rewarded, and a really nice celebration as well. He kind of got a little too happy with himself there. He was kind of surprised that he scored that one, and the Flyers have a 2-0 lead. A couple minutes later, Nicholas Aube-Kubel gets one for the Flyers and make it 3-0 on a rebound that just sat in the slot for a decent amount of time. Aube-Kubel picks it up, 3-0 Flyers. They had a lot of chances. They moved the puck well. They got it out of their zone quickly. Hart was there when they needed him to be, and the Flyers had a 3-0 lead after 1. Bobrovsky got pulled going into the second period, and the Panthers actually outshot the Flyers 11-8 after the first, even though the Flyers had 3 goals. So in that second period, it's really, the Flyers were still dominating. They had a solid period on offense again. Good chances. The third and fourth line of Lawton, JVR, and Pitlick, and also the second line, Hayes, Farabee, Konechny, they were getting a lot of chances and a couple nice ones. Konechny had a couple good plays. Farabee, who's been great with his hockey IQ all season since coming up with the Flyers, he's made some really nice plays. I mean, a couple really nice plays tonight. Kevin Hayes as well. I was surprised that Hayes actually didn't get a goal tonight. I was certain that he was going to get a goal at one point in this game, but sadly he didn't. And Sky Lawton gets one on a nice pinch from Braun. He sends it down low around the boards. Van Riemsdyk's right there. He makes like 3 little moves, sends it out front. Lawton rips him by Sam Montembeault. 4-0 Flyers lead. They go into the third, and this is where, this is where I just did not want this to happen, and sadly it did, and they were able to stop it early after after the Panthers were starting to get a couple chances. So it's 4-1. Huberdeau gets one on a defensive breakdown. He's left wide open. Nothing Hart can do, and the Panthers were buzzing from there on, really to start the whole period. Barkov made it 4-2 on a pure snipe, and this is where it started to get scary. They're pressuring, and Dadonov had a wide open chance. Carter Hart comes up huge, keeps the Flyers in it. And yes, when I mean keep the Flyers in it, you're thinking, yeah, they were up 4-0, but at that point, the Panthers had so many chances. I was surprised that it wasn't 4-3, even tied, honestly. The Flyers survive it. It's still 4-2. Sean Couturier has a little bit of a breakaway. He gets hooked, held, still scores, rips it by Montembeault glove side. Flyers have a 5-2 lead with about 5.5 minutes left. basically the icing on the cake there until Robert Hagg made it 6-2. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Robert Hagg, who's been playing very good defensively. And the Flyers are now 2-1-0 when Hagg scores a goal, just to let you know there. So if Hagg scores, it's pretty good for the Flyers. And the Flyers get the 6-2 win. And this was a game where, as I said, I thought all 4 lines contributed. They played very good defensively. Third period had a couple bit of breakdowns, but it's not going to matter later in the season when you look at that. They played good overall. They get the all-important 2 points. So there were a couple games that mattered for the Flyers tonight. Buffalo played Columbus at home, and the Predators were up 5-0 over the Islanders as well. So it looks like the Islanders lost that one in regulation, as that was at the end of the second period with the Predators up 5-0, and Buffalo beat Columbus 4-3 in overtime. The Blue Jackets were up 2-0 at one point. Sabres came all the way back from 2-0 down to make it 3-2. Yeah, the Blue Jackets scored with, I'd say, like a minute, 40 seconds or so to tie the game, and then the Sabres won in overtime. So now the Flyers have 71 points. Columbus also has 71. The Islanders, if that game ends in regulation, I'm assuming it's most likely over right now as I'm recording this, but if that game does end in regulation, the Flyers will be 1 point behind second place. And now I got the advanced stats and some other stats from tonight's game.
All right, so you got the heat map from tonight's game. You see all 4 Flyers goals in front. Really, the majority of their chances came in front of the net. Nothing really from the point, nothing crazy from outside in the higher parts of the slot towards the blue line. And then you see the goal on the right circle. That was from Pitlick. That was a beautiful shot. And you go to the Panthers here. You got their chances were really not as many in front of the net as the Flyers, but they had a couple towards the left side of the point. They had that goal from Barkov down low at the left circle. Then you have the goal from Huberdeau at the right circle. The Panthers had a couple chances from down low in the corners. They had some in front, kind of some all over the ice. Nothing really major in front of the net. And then you move into the Corsi. So the Flyers, in the first period, they have a 53.85% Corsi to the Panthers' 46.15%. Flyers have a pretty good edge there in Corsi. They're generating a lot of chances. In the second, Flyers go down about 2%, 51.52 to the Panthers' 48.48. And then the Flyers get swarmed in the third, with the Panthers having 73.68% Corsi to the Flyers' 26.32. And that third period basically killed the Flyers with even getting a chance to out-edging the Panthers in Corsi, and they end up losing the battle with that with a 53.85% to the Panthers to the Flyers 46.15. And it doesn't really matter because the Flyers got the all-important 6-2 win and the 2 points. Now to move into the other stats from tonight's game. So both teams, they get 28 shots on goal. The Flyers out-edge the Panthers in the faceoff circle, 61% to the Panthers' 39. Flyers power play was 1 for 3. Panthers were 0 for 1 on a call that I didn't really like. I thought it was a soft call. It was called on Justin Braun for a quote-unquote hook, which was really, you could call embellishment on Hoffman. Nevertheless, the Flyers killed the penalty. A very excellent penalty kill as well. They really I don't even think they let the Panthers set up, and that goes by memory, so you may have to look that over. But honestly, that was a really good penalty kill. They were very aggressive right at the blue line, and they didn't give up anything. Penalty minutes were 8-4 in favor of Florida. Hits were 22-15 in favor of Florida. The blocks were 12-8 in favor of the Flyers, and the Panthers had a 9-5 advantage in giveaways. Some ice time for the Flyers. Couturier, he comes out on top with the offense with 17 minutes and 44 seconds. Kevin Hayes with 17-19. Farabee also with 17-19. Giroux with 17-25. And then you move to the defense. Phil Myers gets almost 20 minutes, 19:57. Robert Hagg, he got 18 minutes as well. Provorov with the number 1 spot with 25 minutes, 20 seconds. And Niskanen was only 19 seconds behind him with 25:01. Sanheim, he had 11:51, and that was only because on that power play the Panthers had, Sanheim looked like he got injured in the corner. It looked like it was a lower body injury. We only saw him play one shift after the goal, or after the power play that he was on, or the penalty kill that he was on, and then in the third period. So he only played 2 shifts for the last 25 minutes of the game. So we may have to see if there's any updates, and we may see a return of Mark Freeman to Philadelphia, because with Gostisbehere out and say Sanheim is injured as well, the Flyers may have to either maybe make a move, if depending on how long Sanheim's out. Same thing with Gostisbehere, and if they can't do anything. If not, they'll have to bring up Freeman from the Phantoms. So, again, it was a very good game tonight from the Flyers. It was an enjoyable one. It was good to get some, a very good response after that game versus New York, a game they really should have won. And again, you guys know the drill by now. My podcast, my articles, those links are on my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll see you guys in the next one.